Hello from Shalom Acres. We're getting ready to set some block today. But before we set the block, I want to talk about kind of the plans of how we've got to where we're at. So you can see we've got some block pre-staged. You can see we've got a lot of rebar that's been put in the ground. So what we used there was actually drilled a 3/8 inch hole. I think I ended up having to put like almost 70 holes in here. And the reason why we drilled it versus putting the rebar straight in the ground was, since we've never finished concrete before, we thought it's, at least I thought it'd be a lot smarter to go ahead and actually just drill them and versus trying to stick it all in there, because otherwise I think it would have been impossible. If you look all the way around here, I mean, every 8 inches we've got rebar. So it would have been really difficult to finish concrete for guys that have never done concrete before to do that. So I thought it'd be better to go ahead and drill it afterwards. And what you'll see here is, you can see looking down here, this is an epoxy, and this epoxy caulk, boy, it's amazing stuff. It dries so fast, especially in the temperature we're at. It dries in 3 to 5 minutes. And I'll be honest, it was less than a minute when I was doing this. It was 90 plus degrees when I was doing this, and it was less than a minute it was drying. So we had to have 3 people, you know, one person pushing in the caulk, one person setting up the rebar, and then Luke was driving them in. But boy, they hold really tight. We'll go over a little bit of the tools, what we're going to use today. So I've got a level here, just a standard 2-foot level. Don't have a 4-foot level, but that's probably what I'll need to get before it's all said and done. Had a friend who let us borrow a cement mixer, so that's going to be huge for mixing the mortar. This type of mortar we're going to use. I'm just using a mortar mix, Quickcrete, 60-pound bag, and we're going to make that work. Got a small shovel here to pull the mortar out of the mixer, and then also, if need to, cut off the end of a trowel. So if we need to use that for pulling it out. A couple different pieces here that we're going to use for leveling the blocks. So once we set the corners, we'll use this as a string gauge, or we will use these 2 items here as a string gauge. Depends on if we're on the inside of the block or if we're actually on the corners. And then the last little pieces we've got here is just a normal trowel. And then if we need a hammer to chip anything out. I don't think we will, but I'd much rather have it in case if we need it. And the final piece that we've got here is just this little tool here for when we take the mortar on the lines. We'll actually run this over it just to give a nice smooth finish. And again, I've never done this before, so in my mind I'm thinking it's going to be easy, but those who do this for a living, they're probably going to be laughing at me because it's quite difficult. So, but bear with us. Luke's going to take some footage of me trying to do this. But so far it's been a full family effort. We've moved down about 200 blocks from our back pasture. And it's been Luke, Sam, and I. And boy, I tell you, after a day of just moving that many blocks, we were pretty tired. So we're going to get started on laying the blocks. Excited to see where we're at. But at the same point, we've got a lot of work still to do. Thanks. Shalom. I can tell you it's really difficult with all this rebar in the way and never setting blocks before to put all the mortar out. But we want the strength. We want to be able to put plenty of dirt on it so that way we can maintain good temperatures. So we're willing to do it. And I don't know if I'm putting too much on here, too little, but it feels like it looks okay. Of course, I don't know what okay is, but it's not looking too bad. So here we go. I'm going to try to take my first block, which is real convenient. I have to take it and lift it all the way up and over. Now we'll see here if I'm even to the edge, because I want as close to the edge as I can, because the measurement of the pad is the exact dimensions of what we need here. There we grab my level. Wow, actually not too far off. Let me just tap it down a little on this side. You see here? And we are level. Now let me go this way. We are not level. Whew. I need to go smashing her down quite a bit. We are getting close. And wow, I'm not sure, but boy, am I excited. Our first block has been laid. I'm going to go across it here at an angle just to make sure. We are looking good, because if you get all your initial stuff laid out just right, little string gauges and other pieces like that, from what I understand, are going to make life really easy. Now what I'm going to do here is, I've got a little extra mortar I'm sure on the outside, so I'm just going to take it and wipe it off. Get it ready for my next block. Doing the same here on the inside. Actually, you know what? I think I want to do this next corner over here. That's where I want to do it. I want my next block to be over here, so that way I can build up.
Go.
Okay, so we've got two corners set, and I'm working on putting the third block in right now. So that'll give us a double stack on either way, whichever way we decide to start running with the wall next. Probably going to work on this smaller side over here. But I think as long as I take my time, it's going to be okay. One good thing about mortar versus the concrete seemed like it couldn't add a bunch of water to it, because it's, you know, that 4,000 psi stuff. Actually, I found out it's probably going to be closer to 5,000 when it's all said and done, which is just going to make a better overall strength and support for us, which is going to be exciting. But it's really nice to see how this is all coming together. And I can see right now, just with a few simple moves, how if you don't line this up just right, well, you're going to have a lot of problems. And this rebar in the way, it makes it even a little bit more interesting. So I'm probably going to end up wasting a lot more mortar than what obviously any mason would do. But I'm trying to make sure that I'm not only seeing level or feeling or looking level in the actual level, but I'm also looking level from up and down. So I want to make sure these blocks are going nice and straight all the way. And by no means am I a perfectionist, but I'm going to look at this hopefully for another 40 or 50 years of my life. Lord Yahweh willing that I'll live that long. So I want it to look nice. And that's what we try to do with most of our projects. Give it the best effort we possibly can, and then we're good. But yes, definitely looking good here. See where we're at on the sides. We're looking like we are. Need to come down just a smidge on this side. Let's see where I'm at over here on this side. come. There we go. How are we looking, buddy? Dead bubble? We got to come down just a smidge more. Okay. Now let's see where I'm at. Okay. We are starting to feel like we're making some progress here. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few. Shalom. It's been about an hour and a half. My son and I have been working diligently on blocks, and you can see in the corners here we're 3 high. Having this table to work off of has been really nice as far as to throw the mortar on and to work off of. It's really a back saver. And then if you look at the progress we've made, we've already gone through 2 bags of mortar, and 2 bags of mortar, I'm not even sure how many blocks we've laid. Let me count them. 2, 4, 6, 8. We've laid about 24 blocks. And we've gone through 2 bags of mortar. So they're 60-pound bags. I'm not sure if that's really good or bad, but I'm feeling really good about where we're at. I feel like our lines are nice and clean. We're nice and level all the way around. And this string gauge is working out really well. So you just attach it from one end to the other, and once you get those ends level, you just run the string gauge down. And I'll be honest, it feels like that's the bulk of the work as far as getting the corners. And then the string gauge really does give you a good line, and you can just cruise from there. I mean, it's pretty much throwing down the mortar and then laying the blocks. Like I said, the only thing that's, you know, is a little bit of a pain is going over all this rebar. But even then, I thought that was going to be a little bit more difficult. It is a little bit more on my shoulders and a little bit on my back, but overall, I've just been taking it slow and feel really comfortable about where we're at. So, okay, we're back. We had a phenomenal day today. Luke and Sam really came and pitched in. You can look around and you can see for the most part we got 2 blocks in on 3 of the sides. 3 blocks in on one of the sides, but the big part for us is we got all 4 corners in, which is huge. So we're set up for tomorrow to do some more, but overall we're not going to take step by step of this. We just want to show this to everybody, get it out there and really look and see. But today, to do about 70, almost 75 blocks, we went through 6 60-pound bags of mortar. So it's looking like about every 13 or 14 blocks we go through, you know, that much 60 pounds of mortar. And the big things that we've seen so far that's been a huge blessing, having your blocks close. We spent some time up front doing that, putting your mixer as close to where you can be, and then also having a nice work table that's at a great elevation right next to your work area. So other than that, we'll let you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and coming along with us as we do some fun things here on the homestead. Shalom.